Bark it up. That's right. Light it up. Light the fires. It's time for the Smoking Puck. That's right. The Boston-based hockey vlog. You sound so hip saying that. I have to worry about my hips. Geez, I'm getting old. Welcome back. It's time for the Smoking Puck. It's Reverend Sully's Boston-based hockey column, formerly in print, Pixel rather. I used to have a hockey blog, and I took a couple of years break from that kind of stuff. But we're back in video form, and awesome. Let's lace them up and drop the puck. Indeed. It's July. It's the off season. It's interesting because the Stanley Cup championship was only a few weeks ago. So hockey season with like 31 teams now. How many teams do we have in the NHL, the National Hockey League? How many teams in the NHL? 32 teams. They're divided into two conferences, the Eastern and West, and further into 4 divisions. And there are 25 teams in the United States and 7 in Canada. There are 32 teams. Yeah. And there are a bunch in what we would consider the South. Seriously. Dallas, Miami, Tampa Bay. There should be another Atlanta expansion team too. Now, oh wow, expanding the NHL again. It's like, well, cui bono? Who benefits? The players' union is my biggest guess. How many players on an NHL team? How many players are on an NHL team? Typically has 23 players on its roster, consisting of 20 players plus 3 extra players. So only 20 players can be dressed that's eligible to play for a game, with the remaining 3 being reserves, often used for injuries or to provide fresh legs. The 20 dressed players usually include 12 forwards, which are 4 lines of 3, 6 defensemen, which are 3 defensive pairings, and 2 goalies, your starting goalie and your backup goalie. Now let's do a little bit of mathematics. I suck at math. 23 times 32. That's 736 union dues paying players at any given time in the NHL. And what is the league? And then, this is why I love asking questions. I don't have answers. All I have are more questions. What is NHL league minimum salary? The current NHL minimum salary is $775,000 per year. This minimum is set by the NHL's collective bargaining agreement, which just got a 4-year extension and is guaranteed for players on NHL contracts. The minimum salary is scheduled to increase to $1 million over the next several seasons. And the new collective bargaining agreement we just got extended for 4 years. Contracts have been shortened, and the season has been lengthened by 2 games. So instead of having an 82-game season, we now have an 84-game season. Part of it is to, get every team can face each other at least once, I guess, under that. Yeah, and so let's see. Is there still hockey league? Is there still an international hockey league, the IHL? No, I mean the IHL. Oh, it's defunct. It is defunct. Wow. The International Hockey League has not been in existence since 2001. Where the hell have I been? What is minor league hockey like? There's the American Hockey League, the AHL. It's the most prominent minor league. It's referred to as the NHL's farm system. The others include the ECHL, which is the East Coast Hockey League. There are junior leagues, but that's Canadian Major Junior, and that's up in Canada. We were talking about that last week. That league focuses on developing young players, typically between the ages of 16 and 20, and it rivals the American college hockey system. And so, how many players are in the NHL? How many players are in the AHL? A team can carry as many players as they can afford. There is no salary cap in the AHL. And as of the American Hockey, the AHL also has 32 NHL teams. So that's another 736 players. So that's 1,472 players just between those two leagues. And they all pay union dues. All right, I'm looking. I just come up with these questions and I keep shooting them up. How many players are in the NHL union? The American Hockey League does not have a fixed number, but there are the PHPA, the Professional Hockey Players Association, has approximately 1,800 members across 60 teams in North America. The Professional Hockey Players Association is a certified U.S. National Labor Relations Boards that have collective bargaining agreements representing at the table. It's the Players Association, yeah. And all of those 1,800 players have union dues to keep the union up and running. That's right. Oh boy. So yeah, it's July. There's not a lot of hockey to talk about. Following up on some notes from last week, free agency came and went with a whimper. It wasn't a big splash. In my team, the Boston Bruins, they're in the rebuilding mode. We're even getting new uniforms. We got a new coach. We're gonna have kind of like a newly built team with not many veterans left over, and new uniforms, which are almost identical to this uniform, which ran between like the 70s, 80s, and the mid 90s. So it's like, yeah. Brad Marchand, my favorite Bruin, who got fired and used to be the captain, he signed a 6-year contract with the Florida Panthers. So the Florida Panthers nabbed all 3 of their free agents that they wanted to: Sam Bennett, Eklund, and Marchand. And they're suited up for a dynasty. They really are. They're a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, so all that speculation. Oh yeah, Brad Marchand's coming back he'll come back to Boston. No, he won't. I thought I was speculating. The thing was that Marchand signed the day before. He signed on June 30th. Free agency started on July 1st. And so I was thinking, because, this is the first and only time you're ever going to be an unrestricted free agent. Don't you want to know what other teams are offering you, like for the big payday? But sometimes it's got more to do with the fit, the team, the mission. In 6 years, he was trying to get 3 years out of Boston. He couldn't get 3 years out of Boston, his own team, where he spent up till then his entire career. He was the captain. He represented the city. His style of hockey represented our notions of what we consider big bad Bruins hockey. And he got 6 years. Let's see. These are the new uniforms we got. This is, why are these two still wearing A's on their uniform? I mean, that really irks me. We traded our captain. We fired our captain. There needs to be a new captain. That's David Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy. So Pasternak's our high-priced forward. He's a goal scorer. Charlie McAvoy is a defenseman. And those are the new uniforms. Don't they look very familiar? They are almost identical to the old uniforms, too. The Boston Bruins unveiled today a refreshed tandem of the Spoked B logo that will serve as the primary marks beginning with the 25-26 season. The revitalized crest will be featured on the team's new primary home and away uniform kits. The only difference between that and this is, this lacks the serifs. Serifs are the little flares on the sides of the B's. A serif would be like the dash on the top of an I, or there's a little overhang on a T, or an X or a Y, or a P, like a little foot on a P, serifs, fonts. And combining some fan favorite elements from the past with a refreshed style, says Bruins President Cam Neely. And that's about it. Yeah, we got new logos. New uniforms. Yay! It lacks the teddy bear. Well, that's too much throwback. But let's look at the other uniforms of the NHL. I think that hockey uniforms are some of the best, are pretty much the best looking sports uniform. So I found this is a Chicago-based website called OnTapSportsNet.com, and this is their power ranking for the 2025-26 NHL season. The St. Louis Blues and the Boston Bruins unveiled rebranded new uniforms that are set to debut in the 2025-26 seasons. Both rebrands were not only improvements on their threads of the past, but were absolute home runs. Where do they rank among the rest of the league? So here's the St. Louis Blues. They're going to this kind of a retro look, a softer shade of blue. They look pretty darn good. Here are the Bruins uniforms, and seriously, one of these two should be the captain, unless there is a free agent or a trade to be made with a veteran that can step in and lead, and can be the captain of this shiftless, leaderless team. Seriously, not thrilled about that one bit. But at number 32, the Columbus Blue Jackets with they're very blue, very, it's Columbus, Ohio. Yay. If there was ever a team that could use a rebrand, it's the Blue Jackets. This jersey feels really generic. It's the Flyers. Flyers introduced revamped uniforms prior to the 2023 season, and they were a swing and a miss. This is basically the same Flyers uniform we've seen since the 70s. The best one that they've had, was the all black third jersey, I think. But still, this is a classic combination, I think. In my humble opinion, the Florida Panthers. Anything is better than those third jerseys they had a few years ago, which were blue and had the old style logo on the chest. The attacking panther, yeah. This shield thing, it's not the best. The Tampa Bay Lightning. It's okay. The Carolina Hurricanes. That is the flag, meaning there's a hurricane in effect, I guess. It's a nautical thing. They also have a swirl logo, in the 2000s. They used to call it. It used to be it was called It was huge. Everything had a swirl logo. It was trendy. The Nashville Predators. Yeah, Nashville. Yellow. More yellow. The Vegas Golden Knights. I'm not a fan of these. The Dallas Stars. I have not been a fan of their rebrand. I liked the Dallas Stars shirts from the 90s and 2000s myself. The Kelly green, and neon green too. You can see that in the background. Remember, this is the chick in marketing. There's always some woman from grad school, from marketing, dynamic trends and everything. At least with the Bruins uniform this season, it looks like a man designed that and made the choice. You can tell because it's what are you so afraid of? This is just shirts. Oh my goodness, why are you taking this so seriously? And it's well, this is professional sports. You need to look which are played by men. Do you need women dressing you for the day? Look at that. I keep looking at something such as the NFL and their color rush uniforms. That experiment for the past 5 years, horrible. You have the same colored shirt, the same colored pants, and you look like high school football players out there. This is professional football, and it's of course, the latent misandry from the chick in marketing who, deep down inside hate men. And of course, they want them to look foolish. on the field. The Washington Capitals, they got decent jerseys. I think they're going for a blue version of the Screaming Eagle this year. The Seattle Kraken. Oh my God. Yeah, huh? Enough said. I might have to eat my words about hockey having the best jerseys. They usually do. I mean, seriously, but this is a lot of like these bland designs. I always will blame the chick from marketing. It's not because I'm misogynist. My misogyny has nothing to do with that. And look at here. Okay, stepped up from the Utah Hockey Club, formerly once were the Phoenix/Arizona Coyotes, which moved to Utah last year. They are now the Utah Mammoth. And that's what they look like. That's their logo. That's their yeah. There you go. How you like them apples? Colorado Avalanche. Now, that brighter blue with the maroon, this uniform has never worked for me. The cut of it, the sleeves, see the logo? It's called the swirl logo, and that has what I was talking about. In the late '90s and early aughts, it was huge. The swirl logo, and an oval, and it's meant to convey a sense of motion and design and dynamism. This is marketing shit, you know. And yeah, I've always thought that Colorado Avalanche uniforms were hideous. The logo is top notch, and so is Colorado's color schemes. Okay, sure. All right, if you say so. Classic. I love the New York Islanders shirts. Seriously, fish sticks were an abnormality, and that's like 30 years ago too, in a way. But New York Islanders. This is a classic shirt. That looks like a hockey player. See? The Vancouver Canucks, they can never get it right. This is the best that they can do. And I mean, yeah, huh? The Ottawa Senators. I like the Ottawa Senators look. It's kind of classic. I like the logo. I like that they've gone back to a more traditional look. They ditched the red jerseys. It's very clean cut. I like that. Yeah, it's a very clean cut look, and it suits the Senators. A red version of this jersey would be a solid addition, maybe. I love the New Jersey Devils look. I liked it when they were better when they had green instead of the black. That's a long time ago. This is a classic jersey. And the Anaheim Ducks. I'm a fan of this jersey. My orange is one of my favorite colors. I think it had everything to do with Empire Strikes Back. Everything had to be orange. Orange soda, orange drink, orange juice. My poor mother. But I really like the orange look. I like this. I like the home jerseys too. We've gone back to the Disney style of the front logo. Anaheim has received a lot of praise for the 2024 rebrand, which seemed to return to their roots with a redesigned version of their original logo and striping reminiscent of their original striping pattern. The logo is phenomenal, as is the color scheme and striping. I don't love all the orange from the helmet to the jersey to the pants, though. Breaking this up with some black pants could really take it to the top. The Winnipeg Jets, they're all right. They really are. They used to be the Winnipeg Jets, and then the Winnipeg Jets moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and became the Coyotes. Then there was an expansion team known as the Atlanta Thrashers, and that team failed and moved to Winnipeg and became the new Winnipeg Jets. And now they're already talking about, hey, let's put an expansion team back in Atlanta. Atlanta had the Flames in the 70s, which failed and moved to Calgary. Still around. Great uniforms, by the way, in Calgary. LA Kings, this is pretty much a classic. A no-brainer. The San Jose Sharks, it's just too much of that blue. They also they use blue helmets for their road whites as well. Not a big fan of this. I liked it better when it was teal instead of this more of a darker kind of blue. Yeah, I'm just never thrilled with that. The Buffalo Sabres. This is like their classic kind of Buffalo Sabres look. Love this uniform. They look great. Edmonton Oilers, again, iconic, classic logo, classic shirt. The Minnesota Wild. Not too wild about these shirts. The Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs. That's classic. It's hockey. It is one of the biggest hockey towns of all time. Don't mess with tradition. We have something in the NHL called the original 6 teams: Boston, Detroit, New York Rangers, Toronto, Montreal, and Chicago. These are the teams that they have those third jerseys, especially in retros and redesigned kind of nostalgic looks, especially for specialty events such as Winter Classics and the such, and centennial stuff. Like the Chicago Blackhawks are celebrating their centennial this year. They're 100 years old. Bruins had theirs just a couple of years ago. With Toronto, that's classic. The St. Louis Blues. I like this uniform. I really do. Pittsburgh Penguins. Sure. They went back to their old logo. This is very reminiscent of the Mario Lemieux heyday. And that works. Really does. Calgary Flames. That's a great uniform. I love it. I used to like it better when they had the assistant captain's A. Used to be the old Atlanta Flames A, which was very similar to the C with the flames on it. It just had the flames on the side of the A. This is a good logo. This is a great uniform. Detroit Red Wings. Seriously, why reinvent the wheel? There are several, kind of retros and winter classics and heritage classics. But this is basic. This is top shelf. I love this logo. I love this look. Especially it's at the road whites. This is classic. And it doesn't need any, no bells, no whistles. The Rangers, the one team I'm allowed to really hate. It's the whole Boston, New York thing. But the blue shirts have, like I said, these original 6 shirts, these original six teams. It's about tradition. It's about nostalgia. There's room for modernity, but also reinventing the wheel. Who does that? The chick for marketing does that. Oh, well, that's her job, is to sell shirts. The Montreal Canadiens, great shirts, great jerseys. I love that city. I love Montreal. Montreal and Boston have had this rivals relationship, but this and I love their home, their road whites. I took it was Valentine's Day, 1999, and I was in Montreal with an ex-girlfriend and my best friend and his girlfriend. And it was Saturday night. We had nothing to do. So I'm like, let's get some hockey tickets. So we went and saw the Montreal Canadiens play the Florida Panthers Saturday night. They were our last place team. That place was packed. We were at nosebleed seats, and it was great. I never thought I'd jump up and down in my chair for the freaking Habs, but I did because it was infectious. What a great crowd! What a great city! It was so much fun, and that's a classic. This is a classic logo. What does the H mean inside of the C? It's a French word. Remember, it's Montreal is in Quebec, which is the French culture of Canada, and les habitants, the Habs. The habitants means like the home team. We live here. The natives in a way. Ironically so. Oh no! Well, what about colonialism? So fuck off. The Boston Bruins at number 2 this year, huh? And I like these jerseys a lot. I have we switched to a jersey in the last years of Ray Bork, and when Zdeno Chara got here, and Patrice Bergeron's rookie year, which we had this full-length stripe down the sleeve, and I never liked those ones. Then we went to then we adopted the serif on the spoked B, the hub of the universe. This is Boston is the hub of the universe, and that's the hub, and that's the spokes of the wheel, and the B is the hub, and that's the Boston's nickname. Is the hub. There you go, the hub of the universe, as I like to say, the hub of the multiverse. But I really like these new uniforms. I don't need one because I got this throwback jersey. I do. I'm covered. No pun. And so what's the number 1 jersey? The Chicago Blackhawks. Of course, because this is a Chicago website. But that is a classic jersey. This is great. How many original 6 teams are in there? Yeah. So we've got 5 original 6 teams in the top 5 of this best of 2025-26 uniforms, and still we're going to find out what are the alternate uniforms this year. I mean, the Bruins had, I think, 3 alternate uniforms last year. Of course, I wanted every single one of them. I can't afford. Who can? Well, I need another hockey jersey. I've been going through my hockey jerseys. I got 8 hockey jerseys, I think, maybe 10. Do I need any more? But still, in a word, perfection. This is everything you want in a jersey, and that's a real, the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks were the tribe of Native Americans that lived in Chicago. What became Chicago? I think that's the name. That might be the name of the Indian chief. Remember, the chief comes from the French word chef, which means the captain, leader, the head of the. The proper word would be, if you wanted to be culturally appropriating, it would be sachem. Would be the leader of a Native American tribe. So chief isn't really, that just comes from chef in French. It really does. And those are the 2025-26 jerseys so far. One of my favorite things to talk about in hockey this season, we're in the off season. What are we going to talk about? Training camp, invitees. Hey, what high priced over the hill, talent did the Bruins sign? Like, who cares? I mean, seriously, everything changes in October when the puck drops, and it's a long ways until October. So, yeah, there's not much to talk about when it comes to hockey right now. But there will be more coming later on in the year. That's right. Well, that's about it for the Smoking Puck for this week. Maybe for the month, too. I mean, like I said, it's the off season. It's the summer. Why don't you go enjoy yourself? And we'll be making intermittent Smoking Pucks from now until preseason. And but keep us in your mind, and like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and keep those fires burning and smoking that puck. All right, have a great day. God bless. Namaste. Good luck, and we will see you on the ice. All right, cheers. Bye-bye.